Now, meanwhile, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Noordin Haji, has petitioned Parliament to enact a law that will clearly state circumstances under which state officers implicated in corruption cases would be required to either step aside or be removed from office. Noordin says government officers holding executive positions have in the past interfered with investigations for lack of clear laws. At the same time, investigating agencies say the 6-month period allowed by courts to freeze assets of suspects believed to have benefited from proceeds of crime is not enough to conclude investigations.
Top officials from the multi-agency team dealing with corruption and economic crimes met members of the Senate Justice and Legal Affairs Committee to seek support in the review of laws and seal loopholes that are often exploited by suspects of corruption to evade justice.
I would want us to be able to separate the stepping aside from removal of office.
The DPP observed holders of executive offices like governors, cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries have continued to remain in office and interfered with evidence or threatened witnesses. More than 30 former and current governors are set to face corruption charges as the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission moves to revive all stalled cases.
If you look at most of these corruption cases, the witnesses are within the offices themselves. We've seen instances where they've sacked the witnesses. Witnesses have been intimidated, documents disappearing. So how do we safeguard against that?
Nobody is above the law.
And we are happy that the AG, you have assured us that your team, the MAT, is fully committed to ensure that we fight and end this menace of corruption.
The investigation and prosecution gave an update on the NYS1 and NYS2 corruption scandal, where several suspects have been arraigned in anti-corruption courts.
Frozen in bank accounts, there's like 300 million in bank accounts. In terms of properties where we have restricted, is more than 2 billion shillings, the assets.
They also shared on some of the challenges in the war on graft.
Currently, the law as it is, it gives us only a period of 6 months from the time we take the steps towards protection and freezing of those assets to initiating an action for recovery. And within the 6 months, Mr. Chairman, so many things can happen.
The multi-agency team said though banks believed to have facilitated money laundering have been fined, more effort needs to be done.
Banks used to be the facilitators, and it's not just banks. There's a microfinance, there is the M-Pesas, there is everything, which we are all dealing with. So it's a vast area. There is the high-value dealers, the jewelries.
Even as the multi-agency team continues its fight against corruption and economic crimes, Kenyans are eager to see when a high-profile case will be convicted and serve jail for embezzling public funds. Patrick Amimo, KTN News, Parliament.